Welcome back and thank you for tuning in, folks. The massive Brics Summit meeting that went from October 22nd to 23rd is now over, and this video is going to talk about exactly what happened. There is a lot of information, so make sure you stick around because there's some huge news, and this will affect the dollar and, more importantly, gold and silver. So if you want silver news like this brought to you on a daily basis, then make sure you click subscribe. And if you want some of that shiny stuff, well, listen here. Just email slayer@milesfranklin.com, or you could call/text me at 330-485-6172. I will hook you up. I'm not a stingy guy. We match prices if anywhere else is cheaper, which rarely happens, but if it is, I promise I will work with you and I will make it better. Hit me up. I love you all. Now let's talk silver. Even though the Brics meeting was so important, Western media didn't cover any of it. I mean, you really had to look around. So I'm going to share 4 different articles that cover 4 different topics about what happened at the Brics meeting and some of the more important stuff highlighting. And by the way, thank you for listening through those announcements in the beginning. Make sure you subscribe because I do post daily videos. Here are some of the main highlighted points that we're going to be talking about. Mexico potentially joining the Brics. Right here, President Putin has been gifted a mock-up of a Brics bill at Brics Summit in Kazan, which is very important. Think about this. They're already giving mock-ups of the bill. Think about that. That means their unit, or the Bridge unit is what the technical name is, Project Bridge, right? Also goes along the line with the Belt Road Initiative and yada yada, but it's called the Bridge unit, which is backed by 40% gold, and the rest resides within local currencies right here, like you can see. The expected to back by 40% gold and 60% local currencies. Its purpose is to reduce reliance on the US dollar. And this new currency aims to establish an alternative to US dollar dominance in global trade, which would essentially kill the dollar. And since the dollar is the world's reserve currency, you could see how that would just topple down the entire system, also meaning gold and silver would skyrocket. See, this stuff is becoming reality. There is a picture of Putin holding the the mock-up some things might be adjusted, but this new currency, that is massive. That is massive. This Brics alliance has unveiled a mock-up of their upcoming currency on the ongoing summit in Kazan, Russia. President Putin was seen holding a Brics bill featuring the flags of the 5 members, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, arranged in a circle. This displayed note had a value of 100 and included flags of potential new member countries on its reverse side. The mock-up features flags of the 5 Brics nations. The note's value appears to be 100. Additional flags on the reverse side represent potential new members. This potential expansion, which is Mexico, among these countries considering joining the Brics alliance. And it's interesting because Mexico is also talking about nationalizing silver right now. That's also very huge news because so much silver comes from Mexico. So if they nationalize it and keep it all for themselves, what are we going to do? We're already with a diminishing, supply, a huge shortage. So the mock-up currency note did include Mexico's flag on its reverse side, along with flags of other interested nations like Egypt, Nigeria, and Bahrain. So while the Brics bloc has not formally announced the launch of the new currency yet, it has been a central topic of discussion within the group. Chinese President Xi Jinping emphasized the need for reforming the international financial architecture and highlighted the importance of Brics promoting the new system that reflects changes in the global economic power. So now let's look over this. Russia in talks with Brics over precious metals exchange. U.S. also wanting to add gold to its mysterious calculus. So all of this is talking about the Brics meeting and the Brics, like all this information, all the different drama that's been, happening in the last couple of days. So I don't know any other channels on YouTube or even media that's covering it in this manner that gives you a very important wraparound. It's all directly incorporated precious metals. So please make sure to give this video a like, share it, comment down below, whatever, and make sure to watch till the end, because this stuff is important, and I'm really trying to do my, I'm trying to, do diligence or do my part to bring this important news to people, things that are happening, overseas that normally we would never get a chance to know about. So make sure you guys subscribe and, make sure you support this channel. So Russia in talks with Brics over precious metals exchange, right? That would be massive. We've already heard about the Brics grain exchange, but also if they are, or even we could go, no, I was going to go into like the Shanghai gold exchange, but let's just focus on this article right now. So as the world watches the development of Brics currency, it would be unwise to underestimate the financial firepower that America's gold holdings represent. This is like some type of meme. Gold brings a friend, silver along for fun. Folks, the first shot has been fired, and U.S. is joining in the gold wars, and the winner will be silver. Gold brings her silver friend along everywhere else she goes. And that is true. Based on recent development, we believe that a mysterious portion of the Federal Reserve's $2.5 billion construction project is dedicated to expanding gold storage facilities, which is interesting. We're going to need a bigger boat. This ambitious undertaking suggests that the Federal Reserve anticipates a need for substantially increased gold storage capacity in the near future. The scale of the project indicates that the Fed may be preparing for a potential shift in monetary policy or anticipating changes in global financial landscape that could necessitate larger gold reserves. While the exact details remain confident, the allocation of considerable space and resources to gold storage within this massive construction project has sparked speculation about the Fed's long-term strategies and the future role of gold in the U.S. financial system. Meanwhile, Russia in talks with Brics over precious metals exchange. Russia is currently engaged in discussions with Brics nations about establishing an international precious metals exchange. This initiative aims to create a platform for trading precious metals, potentially positioning Russia as a key regulator of prices within the market, which would make a lot of sense if their currency, the unit, is backed by 40% gold. This would be the bread and butter. This would be the meat and potatoes to hold that currency together in a realistic fashion without having to use a fiat-based system that is literally designed to fail because our dollars aren't backed by anything except for promise and hope. The proposal is part of a broader strategy to enhance financial cooperation among Brics members, offering an alternative to Western denominated or dominated financial systems addressing the impact of sanctions. This move aligns with Russia's ongoing efforts to strengthen its economic ties with Brics countries and reduce reliance on Western financial infrastructure. Brics believed they had won the gold game, but just sparked a new gold rush as the West refuses to surrender. Not so fast, Brics. The U.S. has a response to your 40% gold-backed currency. As the Brics nations move forward with plans to introduce a new gold-backed currency, the U.S. has an unexpected ace up its sleeve. While the Brics alliance aims to challenge the dominance of the U.S. dollar in global trade, America's vast gold reserves will provide a powerful counterplay. So, the Brics gold-backed currency plan. The Brics nations have been working on creating a new currency that would be backed by gold with an estimated 40% of its value tied to precious metal. This move is seen as an attempt to reduce reliance on the U.S. dollar to create an alternative for international trade and reserves. So is U.S. and all the privileges associated with being the global reserve currency just going to roll over it and play dead? I doubt it. U.S. is stupid, but no one is that stupid. Greed and fear will overpower their stupidity. So remember, folks, there's a lot. We have 2 other articles, so keep sticking through. We are just getting started into all this. Let me take a sip of my drink. Sorry, I didn't want to pause the video and have to cut it out. Hopefully you guys are reading along anyways. So U.S. is answering. Here's a breakdown of the U.S. government's gold holdings. Fort Knox, nobody knows. They need an audit, right? Fort Knox, officially known as the United States Bullion Depository, holds a significant portion of the U.S. gold reserves. Current gold holdings, 147.3 million ounces. This represents about half of the Treasury stored gold. Other U.S. facilities, while I can't find specific figures for other U.S. Mint facilities, it's known that gold is stored at Denver, Philadelphia Mint, San Francisco Mint, and West Point Mint. So Federal Reserve Bank of New York, although not owned by U.S. government, Federal Reserve Bank of New York and D.C. stores a large amount of gold, estimated 6,350 tons. However, 90% of this gold belongs to foreign governments, like Russia. Remember, they wouldn't let Russia get their gold. It took them like 7 years to get their own gold. But remember, this gold is private. So total U.S. government gold holdings. I know this is getting a little off topic, but it does have to do with the Brics. So, this is interesting. We don't really talk about this type of stuff too much. So, total gold holdings, 147.3 million ounces. It's important to note the total amount of gold owned by U.S. government appears to be the same amount stored at Fort Knox. This suggests that figures for other U.S. Mint facilities may already be included in the Fort Knox total, or Fort Knox holds the vast majority. But here's where things get interesting. If the U.S. were to revalue its gold reserves to match the current market prices, it would instantly create a massive boost to balance its sheet, but the potential goes even further. Here's a theoretical scenario. In a hypothetical situation where the U.S. needed to address half of an $18 trillion debt crisis, it could potentially revalue its gold to approximately $122,000 per ounce. While this is an extreme scenario, it illustrates the immense latent value in America's gold reserves. To calculate this price per ounce of gold needed to cover 18 trillion with 147.3 million ounces, we need to divide 18 trillion by 147.3 million. Here's the calculations. There you go, 18 trillion, 140, that's $122,199.59 per ounce. This calculation shows that to cover half of an $18 trillion debt using the current U.S. gold reserves, the price of gold would need to be revalued at $122,000. This is obviously a significant increase from current gold prices, which are around $2,700 an ounce as of 2024. Implications for global finance. Gold-backed dollar, even partially, could reinforce the U.S. and answer global standing. The threat of revaluation could serve as a powerful negotiation tool in international finance. So basically, they're saying, if the Brics are going to do this with their Enbridge unit or their unit, well, we do have enough power. We do have enough gold, since we are the holders, even though a lot of it is not ours, it's foreign owned and privately owned. We could revalue gold ourselves and we could pay off a lot of our debt. But is that going to actually happen, right? They talk about greed, but they also talked about the U.S. having an ace up our sleeve, which is us still currently being the world reserve currency with a lot of gold. So here's a third article. Gold rush at the Fed, expanding vaults, counter Brics 40% gold currency move, $420 silver per ounce by 2026, very likely. So they're going over the same situation as just the previous article, but also mentioning and throwing a little bit of silver's opportunity as well. Line, you're going to need a bigger boat, is delivered right after herring encounter with the great white shark. So Hong Kong airport to boost gold vault capacity to 1,000 tons. This aims to bolster Hong Kong's position as a global trading hub for precious metals. So let's see. Federal Reserve's $2.5 billion renovation, just one day's interest on the $36 trillion national debt. So they're just going over a little more into what we were just talking about, but now we are going into silver, the gold to silver ratio breaking down in silver's favor. $420 silver per ounce by 2026 is in play. They're talking about gold's price, the gold to silver ratio. And if you see down here, $3,000 gold ratio 37.50. Gold is already damn near there. Let's talk about $6,000 gold. Gold to silver ratio 75 to 1, which is very normal. That's $80. $9,000 gold, 70 to 1 ratio, which is likely, but I feel like if gold's 9,000, silver would be a lot more than 128. Because by the time gold would be that high, silver's main purposes would be breaking off, taking on a life of its own, regardless of what gold's doing. But just being technical, if we see $21,000 gold, that'll be $420 silver. They're going off of like average ratios, but I do see a day and age where silver will take on a life of its own. They're talking about this Silver TA analyst who is not a hack, documenting silver's 31-time move to the upside. These numbers are quite conservative because we still have not priced in the market correction, commercial real estate failure event, debt crisis, energy crisis, CBDC panic, another gold rush signpost. So that's huge. What is this? He's talking about $540 silver. So yeah, here's a picture of kind of what's happening. You have all these countries storing gold now, and this is Bretton Woods 3.0, U.S. and Brics both in a gold rush. So yeah, now the last article from Russia with love. They are all in agreement on one topic. Gold is the anti-dollar. So, and this is the BRICS summit in Kazan. Remember, folks, nobody else is covering this stuff. Where else have you heard all this information, especially what I'm about to talk about? Approximately 34 world leaders are participating in the summit, including Prime Minister Modi of India, President Xi of China, President Cyril of South Africa, Iranian President Mossad from Iran, Egyptian President Abdel Fattah, Turkey's President Recep. Leaders from BRICS members, the UAE, Iran, Ethiopia, recent expansion of BRICS groups, which now includes major oil-producing countries such as Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Iran, significantly altered the global oil landscape. And that's also why they don't want us going green. We're just ripping their wallets apart. This expanded BRICS coalition now controls approximately 52% of the world's crude oil supply. And this underscores the growing influence of the BRICS in global energy markets, positioning it as a formidable force in both production and consumption of oil. This group now represents 55% of global population and 35% of the world's gross domestic product, the GDP. That's massive, especially since they're still expanding. Suppose the U.S. decided it needed to dig a $1 billion holes for $10 billion. The cycle back next week to refill them at the same rate of $10 billion. This peculiar economic exercise would indeed be reflected in the USA's GDP calculations. Despite its apparent lack of productive value, this is exactly like what we discussed this morning using the fire truck metaphor, or spend 20 years in Afghanistan refilling the holes with the Taliban. John Little states the USA in last week of 2024 spends $10 billion on digging holes, 1 billion holes. Hey, but that's only $10 each. This would be marked down as a government expenditure, a component of GDP, yada yada. So, the core theme uniting BRICS members is their dissatisfaction with Western-led global government institutions, particularly in economic matters. And then we have these de-dollarization effects. Escobar has been closely following BRICS efforts to create alternatives to Western-dominated financial systems. He recently discussed Russia-led BRICS payment system that is set to shock the Western financial system. The summit is viewed as a showcase of Russia's international partnerships, countering narratives of its isolation due to Western sanctions. We have a lot. BRICS summits taking place with tensions on ongoing conflict in Ukraine, Western sanctions against Russia, shifting global economic power dynamics. Also, there's thousands of Hong Kong soldiers in Russia right now, training in Russia. They don't know what the soldiers, North Korean soldiers are training. Thousands of them are training in Russia right now. We don't know why. So that's another worrying thing. But yeah, so just to recap a lot, folks, there's a lot that's been happening. Putin holding the mocked up new BRICS currency bill. This is what it looks like. We have, we have the BRICS with this gold thing, the new exchange where, our U.S. government or the Fed is also trying to maybe push, to fight back. It could revalue gold at $122,000 that could fill our $18 trillion debt. which is half of our entire our debt at around $35 trillion, $36 trillion. And yeah, there's a lot happening. And you heard it here first. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you also like the video. Make sure you comment. Leave a comment down below. Share the video. Thanks for watching till the end. And if you wanted to purchase some of this shiny stuff, email slayer@milesfranklin.com or call 330-485-6172. I will hook you up. I'm not a stingy guy. I promise I will give you good prices. Thanks for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.